Alright, today we're going to backtrack just a little bit. I want to show you a couple basic plots. I know we've been using ggplot, but you're going to see other types of plots. So we're going to work with base R for now, but it's going to be quick. This one's going to be a quick one. We're going to create the Fibonacci series up to a couple of numbers anyways and plot them. And then I want to show you some ways to customize your plots real fast. So let's create a Fibonacci variable, and we'll do that by doing 1, 3, 5. If you're not sure what the Fibonacci series is, you're adding the previous two numbers together. 5 plus 3 is 8, 8 plus 5 is 13, and so on. This is probably fine for now. So we'll run that, Command Enter. We have our six numbers in there. And now what I want to do is plot them using base R. So let's just plot with the plot function, and we'll type in FIB, nothing fancy in there, Command Enter. And you'll see down on the right hand side, it's just a pure plot that has 1 through 6 on the x-axis, fib on the y-axis, and the actual circle little dots. Now let's try to customize this a little bit to suit our needs a little better. One of the first things you might want to do is to add a character string to like the title. You want a title. You might want to label the axes a little bit differently. And so let's just do that. It's a very simple method. You just add parameters to your plot. So put a comma here, and we'll separate it by a new line. So our main would be our title. So our main is, this is the Fibonacci? I might be spelling it wrong, but Fibonacci series, that's our title. And if you want to play around with it, you can plot it again, and you can see that it added a title and it's centered. So let's go ahead and hit comma on that. We're going to add a subtitle. So let's do sub, and we'll just say something like first 6 digits. So, right. So let's play around with that. Where does that go? It goes on the very bottom. There's all kinds of parameters we can use, and I'll show you just a few of them. The X label is called index. Let's call that something different. Let's call that X label equals, we'll just call that the digit. I'll keep lowercase, is fine. And while we're at it, we'll change the Y label equals to, oh, you know what, we'll call it index, because it's, and then the other one will be the value at that index. So at index 1 you have 1, index 2 you have 1, index 3 you have 2, and so forth. So run that again. You can see that I have, oh, the word index is already in there, that's fine, and values on the y-axis, exactly what was expected. Alright, so we can even go even further than that. We can actually change some of the styles of the fonts and things like that. So let's keep going down the list, and we're going to say font.main equals 1 and hit Command Enter, and you'll see that the font has changed. You can try different values like number 2. It made it a little bit thicker and so forth. Now just play around with it for now. You can look these up and see what they'll mean later. But I want to give you the idea that you can change all of this. You can customize all of the plots like this. How thick do we want it? So the I forget what CEX stands for, CEX.main. So let's do equals 1, and you see it'll change basically the size or the thickness. Let's do 5. Let's see if it makes a big difference. Huge. Okay, so it's the size of it, right? I thought it was thickness for some reason. We can also change the font on the axes if we want. So like font.the axes. Let's change that to a bold. Command Enter. You see that my axes have been bolded. And finally, let's change the label color. So the color.label is equal to blue. Command Enter. And you see that my value and index change color. The point is, you can customize everything. So quick little Stack Overflow search or Google search on how to change the color of a plot, and you are all set. Now some of these you'll memorize pretty quickly because you'll use them all the time. Let's not stop here though. Let's change the type of plot that we're doing here. So more parameters, and this is going to get pretty large, so you might want to save this, copy paste for now. I'll show you different ways to do this later where it's a lot simpler. So we can do the type and do type equals. Now the letter L is line, so if I hit Command Enter on that, you'll see that it's just a line. So try the line. You try B as in line and point. So both, think of the word both. If you just want point, it would be P, which is the default anyway, so you can leave that off. S is kind of neat. It's kind of like a staircase. This definitely makes your plots a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. C, and you can even change the dash types. N must be none. So let's keep this as B for both for now, and let's play around with some more parameters. So many parameters here, it's ridiculous. So it can get a little crazy. So now that we have that, let's change some of the, instead of the circles and the regular dots, let's change that to something different. Now there's, I think, 25 different plot characters you can use. So to do that, we would do PCH, plot character equals. Let's put a number in there. I'll put the number 2 in, Command Enter on that, and you'll see that I got little triangles. And then number 3 or 4, let's just pick a random number. There's about 25 of them, so you can pick different characters for your little points. But we don't have to stop there. We can add more stuff to this. Let's say we want to add different types of line types in general. That would be LTY, line type. So LTY equals, let's start with number 1. Looks like that's the default. Number 2. And again, I'll actually show, see it's a dash line. I'll actually give you a little plot of this in the screen somewhere, and maybe a link to my site where you can find this. Alright, so different line types, different dot types. Let's change some of the other characteristics like comma. So this parameter list is getting pretty large. Let's do color equals blue. And I'm just showing you iteratively so we don't go too far. We want to maybe change the size of it. So the CEX, let's make that a 5, Command Enter. See, my X has got a lot bigger. I forgot, you know what, I don't really like X's, so let's change our, where was that at? That is the P character, right? Point character type. I don't know, let's try 10, see what that looks like. 10, little circles with crosses in them. P character type, line type 3, we still have the dash line. Let's try that, let's try 5, just for fun. Looks like another different type of dash line. Color equals blue. Let's change the size down to 4. Lots of ways to customize this. Now we could also change the line width, LWD equals, and let's make that a 6, Command Enter. And you see how thick that is. You know, obviously you want to customize this to your liking. There are probably hundreds of different ways you can customize this. You can customize the coordinates, so it doesn't go to 1 through 6. You can go -5 to 10. You can customize even where it starts. It doesn't have to start at 1. It can start at 3. You can keep outliers. You can get rid of outliers. There's all kinds of ways to do this. You can actually get rid of the axes. You can pretty much customize this any way you want. So you're going to have to start Googling how to do this if you want very specific things. And finally, let's do one more parameter. Let's rotate the axis text. So we'll say LAS equals 1. Notice on where my values are, 2, 4, 6, 8, 12. I'm going to Command Enter on this, and it's going to rotate my axis font and text. That's it. So this is just one quick way to customize a base R plot without using ggplot2 and make it look pretty, make it more aesthetically appealing. So again, if you enjoyed this, please share it on social media, like it, subscribe, do all those things, and I will see you in the next tutorial.